The video I'm making here is about static cling, but it's not just about static cling. There's a lot of other materials, applications, media that it has a similar take to it. I'm using this just because this is a kind of a known thing, but it also would apply to certain window perfs. It could certainly apply to adhesive vinyls. It could apply to a lot of different banner materials. Just because one material is not terribly successful on latex does not mean latex will not run that material. Often it means either the sweet spot on the material you've chosen is narrow, or in extreme cases, latex is incompatible with that particular material, but not another brand of the same type of material. The static cling is an example. So what I have here is a General Formulations white cling. This is a very widely used static cling in the United States. There is a white and there is a clear. And on almost all of the generations of what we call Gen 3, 300 series and 500 series latex, the General Formulations static cling is a great choice. Now, lamentably, it is not on the Media Locator, but it is very easy to do the profiling, build your own preset. You can load the material. I would choose an adhesive vinyl, start at 12 pass, just to get your quality mode. Figure out a temperature that makes sense. Let's say start at 220 degrees and get a read on the material, figure out how much ink, you're good to go. The next two steps are automatic. Even if you're using a latex printer that does not have a spectrophotometer, like the 335 or 315, you can still do the color calibration, hit finish, it'll use a generic ICC, and this thing will look great. Easy peasy, no troubles. Now, there's another material. In this particular case, it's made by Catalina. It is a white static cling. I can get this to work. All right, now the window to make this General Formulations work and to make this Catalina work are different. This is going to run at 12 pass, probably not 10 pass. It's more heat sensitive, and it has to do with the liner, I believe. You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I think these are very different liners. They have a different thickness. And it would seem to me that this paper-based liner and on the Catalina product, and there's many very similar to this, what happens is the latex, when the temperature hits that paper, the paper pops. And the static cling is just along for the ride. And I can't keep that paper down without lowering the temperature. So in order to run this, I have to run it, say, 185 degrees or 190 degrees Fahrenheit. That forces me to lower the speed to 12 pass and in some cases even 16 pass so that I can have the dwell time to get enough ink cured at 80 or 90% because of the low temperature. It has nothing to do with the integrity of the material or the quality of the static cling. In fact, this Catalina static cling is gorgeous. It's a great product, but it's just less than ideal for the smaller latex printers. Now, the larger latex printers, the 1500, 3000s, they have a different path, they have different clearances, and they may run this Catalina or similar products very, very well. But the General Formulations works better on the 300 series because it doesn't have the same reaction to the temperature that the Catalina does. And I'm casting no aspersion on the Catalina product, which is a great product, and I really wish it worked ideally for latex, and I can get it to work. But your sweet spot, your window of success is much smaller. The General Formulations is going to be more forgiving. You're going to be able to dial that in with a lot less frustration. That contrast is true across many media types. And that's why we have the Media Locator, among other things, to help narrow down choices so you don't say, I want to print on this window perf and it didn't go well, latex doesn't print on a window perf. No, latex just doesn't print on that window perf. Or it doesn't print on that window perf at the speed you've chosen, at the temperature you've chosen. That's usually the key. The temperature has to be right. And then how much ink you want to put down on it. And with a window perf, you can't profile it in any traditional sense because it's full of holes. So you have to kind of clone something and then make some choices that make sense for a lower temperature adhesive vinyl material. So I just wanted to point this out, not just for the general formulations cling, which is a very good choice on latex from what I found. It's mostly to explain that there really are differences in media, and you might get 5 medias that all perform perfectly and then 1 that doesn't. And for a lot of reasons, there may be something perfectly rational behind it, but it's a better idea to just switch to a different media, try something else, be open to the idea, and definitely consult the HP Media Locator, because that's going to be the way we're going to try to communicate best products to people to save you a lot of this aggravation.